With me, Lieutenant Carl Minden. Also with me, Sean Purcell's Patrick McDonough, Trinity Hundredmark. First of all, to you, Patrick McDonough, all these statements he's making will come into evidence. The U.S. Constitution protects you from the state. That means the police basically can't beat you till you confess. But the U.S. Constitution does not protect you from gabbing to the media. When he said, I wanted to plead guilty, but my lawyer won't let me, that's going to come into evidence. Not only that, when he says, I'm sorry, that's going to come into evidence. When he makes up this ridiculous story about the co-defendant did it, that's going to come into evidence. What am I supposed to believe, McDonough? He says he kidnapped her. What? Little green men came in, and after he kidnaps her, lures her to this home with a promise of a cash down payment, makes off with her, steals her, then somebody else comes and kills her and buries her in a shallow grave? You think a jury's going to believe that, McDonough?
Well, let's start with this. I mean, horrific crime, but you want to make sure they've got the right person. So I certainly would be interested, is there physical evidence that links him to this crime? At this point, I've heard no physical evidence yet. Second of all, I'd really be interested in a 12-hour interview when the officer who came on your show said they were bargaining. Was there some type of hope of benefit?
Stop right there.
Or is there some possible...
You know, that doesn't rise to a motion to suppress because Patrick McDonough is
No, that's
interested.
right. But if there's if an officer says that I will do this, if there's some hope of benefit, then it could be suppressed. So if you lose that statement and you have no physical evidence, there's really a question whether there's reasonable doubt.
Really?
Here. Absolutely.
Really, Trinity Hundredmark? Because even if you throw out the police statement, what about that statement he made on national TV that we just played for you? I'm sorry. Tell the family, I'm sorry. I want to plead guilty, but my lawyer wouldn't let me. I'd like to hear you two do a backflip and find a way to suppress him gabbing to the media.
Well, Nancy, we're picking and choosing which statements we're going to listen to. We want to take those as face value, but we're not even going to listen to any about this alleged co-defendant that he says is out there. We can't say that, yes, he's admitted guilt and that he's apologized and so he's guilty, but we're not going to pay attention to the co-defendant. We can't pick and choose.
I am paying attention to it.
We're not giving any credibility to it, where they haven't looked into it. We're at the very beginning of an investigation here, Nancy, and just started.
A phantom co-defendant. I'm glad he said that because that's going to come in at trial too. The fact that he admits to the kidnapping, then he won't tell police where the body is and relieves some of the family's distress. Sean Purcell's. Do you know how awful it is?
But even that doesn't make sense. Why would he admit to kidnapping if he knows that she's dead? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't. Why would you do it if you know he's dead?
Does it make sense, Trinity, to lure a woman to a vacant house and then kidnap her? Does that make sense to you?
Here's what Ms. Hundredmark
You
is
are
saying.
not Trinity Hundredmark. No, she's the one that said it doesn't make sense. What about that? Does that make sense, Trinity?
It doesn't make sense that he says he kidnapped her because she's a rich woman and he left her purse in the car. If that was the case, he would have taken her money. He'd have robbed her. None of what he said has made sense, but we can't pick and choose what we want to believe.
Get it? Don't you get that murder never makes sense? I mean, do I still have Lieutenant Minden with me?